This one is gonna take a little bit. Tyler scares me when he bakes. You are terrified every single day, not you and your partner against each other. You didn't have to put nothing down. Big hit as far as like income. Kind of exhausting when you put so much to stop you from making money. Like, hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're doing a Q&A, kind of like get ready with me. I just did very simple makeup. I didn't even do my hair. My hair is washed and it's just air drying because I forgot to put product in it. So it's just a really casual, laid back, get ready with me with this little makeup look, which is kind of like my everyday, but I have clothes on, by the way, but answering you guys' questions. And I love doing this. I love being able to talk to you guys about things that you want to know about, and I'll definitely do them more often, maybe based on specific topics. And yeah, so if you guys want to talk about some things, have me answer some questions, and do my makeup, then let's get into it. Let's do this. Hopefully you guys can see me. Let me zoom you in a little bit. So I'm going to be doing pretty much my everyday. I'm going to really take my time doing it though, because I think I'm gonna film a video after this. So let's start answering questions. I'm gonna try to answer all of them to make this video nice and long. Someone asked, with starting BNC as well as launching your own business, what would you say are some of the most important aspects to focus on to launch right? Love your videos. Thank you. So I would say, I think the number one, like absolute number one, is do not wait for everything to be perfect, because with starting creating anything, there's probably stuff that's going to go wrong and things you'll want to change, and worrying about them and making them prevent you from launching is going to put you in a position where you're never going to launch. You have to just go with it. You've got to just get your idea, get it to a good space, whatever business it is, and just do it. When I launched, Brindle & Core has been out, like it's been 5 years now, but when I launched my own brand, like when I launched YvonneCore.com, it definitely wasn't perfect. That was, by the way, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster for radiant skin in the color medium tan, 5 medium tan. And I figured out what it is that put those bumps on my face, because my face was completely clear and now they're back, and it's the Unseen sunscreen. So I will not be using that anymore. But anyways, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. This is medium dark 145W. So I'm putting that like where I have darkness, like in the inner corner, and then a little bit on the outsides. And that's just going to cancel out darkness, cover, and then I'm gonna use this one here, which is medium 100W, to brighten. But yeah, my number one thing is do not try to wait till everything is gonna be perfect for you to launch, because it will literally stop you from making money. Like, you gotta launch, like you gotta hurry up and get it out there. I would say also to make sure you have everything done legally first, as far as LLC, opening a bank account, like all the things that if you just like look up what you need to do to start a business, make sure all those things are done. Make sure you have ownership of your name, and then just launch. Honestly, I feel like the most important thing is just to do it, because if not, you just won't. I blended that all in, and I'm going to use powder. Translucent powder from Sephora collection. I'll leave all these products down below, by the way. Translucent powder from Sephora collection in, I think it's just called Translucent. What practical advice would you give as first-time home buyers now that you and Tyler have gone through the process? Practical advice: make sure all of your personal documentation is accurate and correct and like good to go. And our house, we put it under Tyler's information. I'm on the deed, but he is on the loan because we were doing it with his VA loan, which I've talked about that a pretty good amount, I feel like. But they check everything. Like, I'm talking bank statements, taxes, income, like they check everything. So I feel like that's like the number one thing. And I would say to look at houses even before you start looking at houses. Like, me and Tyler, we ended up buying our house so fast because we knew exactly what we wanted, and before they even said like you're pre-approved, we were already looking to see what we wanted to get. So when it came to working with our realtor, he showed us one house that we didn't find, and then The other ones were ones that we found. So it was a very quick process. We didn't have to wait a long time. When we were ready to put in the offer, we put it in, and that was that. Like that's I think the two biggest ones. Like, know exactly what you're looking for and start kind of looking. We just looked on Zillow and Trulia, and we would walk all the time around our neighborhood, and when we'd see houses up for sale, we'd look them up. This is the Hula bronzer, by the way, in the regular color. BNC ever consider releasing a fragrance? PS, I love your channel. Thank you so much. We've talked about different things like that, but it's most likely not going to happen. Not now anyway, because when you're trying to put all of your money into one specific thing, it is hard to find manufacturers and all that stuff. We've considered it before. We've considered branching out into a lot of things, but it is just way too difficult and way too expensive, if I'm being honest, to try expanding when your brand isn't even solid yet. Like, you need like a solid core to be able to even think about expanding into other things. So we have thought about it. We've thought about a lot of different things to release, but it's just not going to be happening, not anytime soon anyway. How and when did you know that you wanted to transition from doing makeup and beauty videos to primarily vlogs and lifestyle? I found you off of one of your first hair care videos, and although I still love that content, vlogs are definitely where it's at for me. So I still, like you can see, I'll still show my hair, and I'll still do a makeup routine and all that, but there comes a point where, while yes, you're doing the type of videos that you enjoy and you like, there comes a point where you're putting in so much work into your videos, and if that type of video doesn't get the views that other videos do, like for my example, all my videos around get about the same, but vlogs are my number one. Hauls, that's mainly it. Clothing and beauty and all that doesn't get as much or as fast as your vlogs do. So while you'll still do them, like I still do beauty and videos like that, it is kind of exhausting when you put so much time into that style of video to not get the response that you want from it. Like, there are, and I think about it for like people that have huge followings or bigger followings, like if you do a video and most of your videos get 75,000 views, and then you do a different type of video and it gets 12,000 views, like that's a big hit as far as like income. Because I do get paid from YouTube, it's not like this crazy amount like all these big influencers, because I don't get as many views as they do because my channel is still really small. It's a big drastic difference, like when all of your videos get really good views one month and then you do a video that's a little bit different and it doesn't, like you see the difference. So I think that finding a handful of videos that you like to do and intertwining them, which is why I always will upload a vlog. Like every week I'll do a vlog, but then I'll sprinkle in other styles of videos all throughout. Like my fragrance videos get very, very good views, but I'm not out there buying perfume all the time to be doing a million different videos. Kind of just have to pick like what videos do I really like to do and what do they actually watch, because for the people that do this as a job, like this is a job for me. It sucks when you waste a whole bunch of time on a video that you're really excited about, but your audience isn't as excited about it. It's kind of like depressing sometimes actually, but yeah, so I just stick to what I know you guys like, which are vlogs. I love filming and editing vlogs as well, so I love doing them. But that's why I don't like branch out as much and do different types anymore. How did your methods of communication change from when you and Tyler were dating to now in a marriage? I don't think that they've changed a lot, to be honest. And I think that's because we got married very grown. Like Tyler just turned 35 and I'm 33. So it's like, we're not kids, we're not young, have always looked at each other as like equal. It's like we've always been a team, always. Tyler has never made me feel like you're just my girlfriend and now you're my fiance. Like he's treated me the same and we've been the same from the very beginning. So it's not like we've been dating since we were 18 that there's been such a drastic change. Oh, I'm using my bronzer in my crease, by the way. I never do this, only when I'm like going out. Now I'm using the Dose of Colors Mírame highlighter. I'm not going to put any on my face, but I'm going to just tap some on my lids. It's super pretty, and I like barely touch eyeshadow these days. One thing that I'll say about myself is that one of my favorite words of advice that I've heard, and I actually heard it from somebody else that was getting married, that someone asked her the question, like, what advice have you gotten for like getting married? And it's that you have to remember that any issues that you guys go through, it's you and your partner against the issue, not you and your partner against each other. And I think that that's something that I always have in the back of my mind. If me and Tyler are ever disagreeing on something or we're arguing, coming to a solution so that both people are happy is better than someone winning. Like, it's just what it is. So I think that that is something that's always in the back of my mind and something I'm always thinking about. If there's ever an argument or we're disagreeing on something or just like not getting along, I'm just like, okay, like, we're not against each other, we're against the issue. Figure out what the issue is so that you guys can both tackle that. Hey Yvonne, I love your content and your style is my favorite. Thank you very much. Can you give me some tips on preparing for the process of purchasing your home as a self-employed couple? How did this affect your process? Also, without being too forward, what are your honest thoughts about the financial aspect of co-owning an online store boutique? Did it take a while to pay yourself from your business when you first started? Would you say it's lucrative the first couple of years? Thank you so much. So I'll start with the first part. Can you give me tips on preparing and or the process of purchasing your home as a self-employed couple? So Tyler and I's situation is very different. And not that this doesn't happen, there are a lot of disabled veterans everywhere that purchase a home. But to be as transparent as possible, because I have no reason to keep it quiet, like it's not a secret, Tyler is 100% disabled. He has a handicap sticker. I know that he looks perfectly normal, which is something that actually drives me crazy when people are like, oh, they're in the handicap spot and they don't even need it. Like, you have no idea what disabilities people deal with. Anyways, so Tyler is 100% disabled. So he is on disability through the military. With that, he received a sum of money for the back pay of all of these years that they have not been paying him disability. Tyler got out of the military when he was, I think, 20 or 21, and he was in explosions. He's had, just as recent as like a couple years ago, had to get metal pulled out of his body that was still stuck from when he went to war. So Tyler is, I know he looks like a completely normal person. Tyler has had a lot of injuries. He has a traumatic brain injury and all the other things that come with being a soldier and going to war. So because of the fact that he was supposed to be on disability all this time and he wasn't, there are years of disability that they owe him. So sorry, I just like touched my eyeball with my mascara. Because of that, they gave him a sum of money and he used that to pay off all of his debt, credit cards, everything, every single thing that he had. So that is a very, sorry, hold on. My eye is like, there's like a good mascara in my eye. Okay, so anyway, so because of that, they gave him this sum of money. So he paid all of his debt with his money. He could do whatever he wanted with it. That was just money that the government owed him, but he paid all of his debts off. Also, being 100% disabled, they wipe your student loan debt. So when it came to his debt to income ratio, he essentially had zero debt, nothing, which shot his credit up like over 850, like shot it up because he paid every single dollar on his credit cards, got every single balance as low as he could, shot his credit up. It took off his student loans. So when it came time for them to run everything, they were like, wow, like all of your stuff is perfect. So because of the fact that we were using his VA loan, he took the loan out and all of his information because he was able to do it so quickly. He got his disability in December, the last like 2 days before Christmas, and we closed on our house in March. So it happened that fast because he was like boom, 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 boom. That doesn't happen for most people. Like people that don't have this type of benefit from the military, like you have to save for years to have the money for the down payment. The VA covers your down payment. So when we went to our closing, even the notary was like, I don't think I've ever seen this for this type of house, $0. Like we didn't have to put nothing down, like zero. The government pays for all of that. So I feel like when it comes to tips, I'm not the right person to ask or speak to as of right now anyway, because the military and the government essentially covered everything that most people would have to cover when it comes to buying your first home. Now, the next home that we buy is going to be in Puerto Rico, and I am going to buy that one. So come that time, I'll be able to give a little bit more information on it, but I will basically have to come out with, you know, however much down, make sure I have all my credit cards, everything squared away, all my taxes done. But for Tyler, it was just a little bit different. Without being too forward, what are your honest thoughts about the financial aspect of co-owning an online boutique? So you cannot expect to start making money off of your business for years. Brenda and I did not start paying ourselves until we were probably in year 3.5, like right there. And we were on a payroll, so it wasn't like we were just taking money out of the bank and giving it to ourselves. We got paid every other Friday, just like you would anywhere else, and we got a pay stub. We get W-2s, taxes taken out of our check. And to be, again, as transparent as possible, because I always am, we stopped paying ourselves a while ago when we decided to move forward with starting our patent design, because it cost so much money. We didn't want to take money from the business anymore. We wanted the money to stay in there to basically fund over $30,000 worth of bodysuits. That's why we push the bodysuits so much. That's why we haven't brought more of them. That's why we're still bringing, like, if you shop Brenda & Core, that's why we're still bringing like a couple pieces from curated brands, because it is extremely, extremely expensive to create a product, and then people want more styles and we want to make more styles, but we can't afford it. Like, we would need another $30,000. Even if we went the lower end, we would need $10,000, $15,000. So Brenda and I, which is why you've seen me go to the tattoo shop, crank out more videos. I use my Amazon influencer thing as much as I can, because now that is my source of income. I no longer have the business's source of income. And that's something that's very, very scary. I think that people glamorize having a business. It is not glamorous. I promise you, there's maybe 5% glam in all of it, because you are terrified every single day. You are stressed all the time. If your business is not making money, it's nobody's fault. Like, it's not like you can just clock in, get your check, and clock out. There is no more PTO. There is no more vacation time. There is no free time. That's genuine honesty. What have been some pros and cons of owning your home versus renting, in your opinion? We haven't bought our home yet, still renting, because it feels like such a big step we are scared to take. It is very scary, and I think that people try to make it seem like it's nothing. There's a reason why people rent for so long, because rent is covering everything. When you own your house, it doesn't matter how much your mortgage payment is. It's not going to cover your lawn service. It's not going to cover maintenance. It's not going to cover someone fixing your AC. They're not just going to be able to replace them. Like, these are all things that come out of pocket, and I think that's the biggest thing. I understand why people rent for so long. I mean, me and Tyler, again, we just bought our house, and Tyler's 36 and I'm 33. So it's like, we rented for a very, very, very long time, and I don't think it's something that you should just jump into. Like, I really don't, because you have to have funds ready for any worst case scenario. We had to buy a new washer dryer right when we moved in, because our washer dryer broke. They're not just going to replace it for you like you would in maintenance, or if you have a landlord, they have to cover all of that stuff. What are your 3 favorite things to do in Puerto Rico and your favorite restaurants there? I honestly don't have a ton of favorite restaurants or like things to do like that. Going to the beach, obviously, like La Placita de Santurce in Santurce for like nightlife is very fun. Like, when I go, my family is from a really, really, really small town. It's not like big like San Juan or Carolina or Santurce or Humacao or Aguadilla, Rincon. Like, no one goes there. Like, we are not from a really big area. Half of my family is from Morovis, which is like up in the mountains, and then my grandmother, like where I used to spend most of my summer, we used to split half with my grandmother who just passed away, and then half with my grandmother who is still alive. But because all of my young cousins were with my grandmother that's currently still alive in Arroyo is this big. It is so small. It's the most southeast city in the entire continent. So it is very small by the beach. So there's not like tons of restaurants and stuff there. Like, you have to go to like Guayama, which is like the closest city, like the closest bigger city. And that's where you have like tons of restaurants. So like, I only know like our pizzeria and like little things like that, because we didn't go out to eat like that. Like, we were always with my grandmother. But when I've gone as an adult, there's a place called El Maquito that's like on the side of a cliff, and they bring you like fresh seafood. If you like seafood, incredible. So El Maquito, I cannot remember what pueblo it is or what city it is, but El Maquito, Barranchina for the Mofongo, Mallorca, which is in Viejo San Juan if you're like going towards the El Morro and all that, there's a place called Mesón Mallorca, and if you go in there, they make you it's like a tiny little diner, and it is so good. I always recommend, as far as like things to do, doing the catamarans in Fajardo that take you to either Icacos, Culebra, Flamenco. Like, they take you to a lot of the surrounding islands. Highly recommend that, because it's usually like a couple of hours. They meet really early in the morning, like 8, 9 a.m. and you spend like most of the day there. I think you come back at like 2. They give you food and alcohol, and then they just like park at the island. There's a whole bunch of other boats there, and you just drink and chill in the water. So I definitely recommend that. You can just Google like catamaran tours, go on Yelp, go on TripAdvisor, places like that. El Yunque I would recommend, because it's something that was supposed to be, they were thinking about adding it as the 8th world wonder. Definitely recommend El Yunque. You are gonna hike though, so make sure you look into that. Every time I go, I'm just like hanging out with my family, so we don't like go out like that. But definitely like Viejo San Juan. If you go to the beaches, I would probably recommend the west coast of the beach, of the island, because that's where the surfers are. I go to like the town that I went to all my life, and that's kind of where I hang out. We don't really go anywhere else. 5 makeup must-haves. And when will you and hubby be doing another bake-off? I have no idea. Tyler scares me when he bakes. You guys have seen him. My 5 makeup must-haves. Brow pencil. I'm just gonna go like generic. Brow pencil, mascara, concealer, bronzer, and like a lip balm or something. Those, that's kind of what I do every day anyway. Any info on how to do jobs from home? Affiliate marketing, online jobs, since you said you work from home, and that's my goal one day, doing something I love from home. So when I say I'm working from home, I mean like I'm doing this. I'm doing YouTube, I'm working on Brenda Lynn and Cora. I have a styling business that I do virtually. So all the things that I'm doing when I say I'm working from home, I work for myself just from home. I have no idea about the workforce or like places that are hiring. I genuinely have no idea. I was looking at one point to see if I could just get like a little part-time, but I didn't have much luck. So yeah, when I say that, like I would say set up like Amazon affiliates, because if you're somebody that's active on any social platforms, or if you are constantly recommending things on Amazon, you'll get a commission. It is so small, you guys, but you will get a commission. What are your financial goals and what are your priorities this year? I want to wipe all of my debt, like all of my credit card debt, all that stuff. That's really it as far as that. And then financial goals, I want to start saving money so that I can put that towards a down payment for our future home in Puerto Rico. After buying your home, will you still be on a strict budget and trying to save as much as you can? Or are you giving yourself a little more leeway, being that you have to decorate and furnish a whole new place? So when we first moved in, I felt like I needed to start getting furniture and getting everything right away. And it's just not possible. Like, unless you are working with hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's not possible. Or unless you're doing like a ton of like secondhand furniture where everything is way less expensive, it's just not possible. It's too expensive. We have 3 bedrooms. Well, technically 2, because this is a bedroom. 2 bedrooms that we have to fully furnish. We have a huge kitchen, a huge living room, a dining room. Like, we have so much space that it's just gonna take a long time. So I've kind of pumped the brakes on trying to fill the house, and I've just been putting money into savings again. Like, I did my biggest styling job, and with that, when I got paid from that job, I put that into savings. So yeah, I'm just trying to save while also being realistic, because like, we're in this home and this was such a big goal. But I'm always trying to save and just make better financial decisions. Your family and friends watch your vlogs, and do they comment to you about them in person? Not so much my family. My sisters every so often, not all the time. My friends do every so often as well. They'll mention it like, oh my God, Yvonne, I'm watching your vlog and X, Y, and Z, but that's really it. They don't say anything negative about it. Biggest advice on saving money or tips? Okay, this one is gonna take a little bit. Let me take my hair out because I need to start doing my hair. One tip that I have is you are not going to save money really and leave it in savings until you are ready to do so. Because there have been many times that I have said I was gonna save and then I end up just transferring it right back into my checking account. Like, that's a very normal thing that happens to a lot of people. Until you're ready and you have like tunnel vision, you're just not gonna successfully do it. So when I saved like the most, it was a couple of years ago, and I was working part-time at Sephora while working for Brenda Lynn and Cora, while also doing freelancing. And all of my money that I would make freelancing, every dollar I put into savings. So when I had huge weddings on weekends that I was making anywhere from $800 to $1,000 on, all of that went into savings, and I only worked on what was in my actual checking account. I know for a lot of people, you get paid an actual paycheck, so I would say take your money out, put it in an investment account or put it in a high yield savings account that you don't have a debit card to or something like that, and leave it alone. Also, while you're trying to be strict on yourself and budget, do not take away all of your freedom. Don't say like, I'm not gonna go out to eat ever again. Don't say, I'm not buying myself anything until this. Get yourself, like, if there's something that you really, really love, one thing that I do all the time is I will either write it down, I'll take a screenshot, I'll have like a memory of it, or I use it in my Pinterest board. And a lot of the times we're buying things just for the impulse and just for the instant gratification. So I will take something, and if I really want it, I will save a photo of it. If I can't stop thinking about it or can't stop looking at it, I will wait and say, okay, when I get my next paycheck, I'll give myself this amount of money and I will buy that thing that I want. Do not like stop yourself from ever going anywhere, ever going out to eat, ever going out for a drink or happy hour or something like that, because you will end up losing your mind. Hey Ivana, where's your favorite destination to find decor inspo from? She asked a couple questions, so let me do that one. Decor inspo, I would say Pinterest. Pinterest is like my whole life. I am obsessed with it. I use it for everything, not just home. I use it for home, I use it for decor, I use it for recipes, I use it for my personal style. I literally use it for everything. So I would say Pinterest. And another one is in traveling. I notice that whenever I'm traveling, I get very inspired by the style of architecture and colors and things like that. And for me, you guys know I love color. It's why my office is blue. I will always have color in my home. I'm never going to have a beige or white or gray home. I notice that your wardrobe is a lot like your home. So if you are someone that only wears neutrals, that's probably what your home is going to look like. And for me, like, I have so many colors in my wardrobe. I'm barely ever wearing neutrals. So me forcing my home to be neutral doesn't fit me. Like, it doesn't fit my personality. So a lot of the times it's colors, it's nature sometimes, it's old art, it's music, celebrity crush. So for a long time, Ryan Gosling was my celebrity crush. I've been into white guys like my whole life. All my crushes when I was younger were all white boys. Ryan Gosling was like my biggest crush. I loved me some Ryan Gosling. I still think he's hot. Ever since I watched Sons of, where's my lip? Oh, ever since I watched Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam, I'll put a picture of him right here, is glorious. And I just fell in love with his character, Jack Teller. Oh my God, Jack Teller was so hot. And it's so funny because when I met Tyler, I was like, he has tattoos. He like, not like what Jack Teller is, but I'm like, he was in the military, so like he has kind of like that rugged, edgy, bad boy look. And Tyler used to be in a motorcycle gang, or a motorcycle club, I'll say. So I was just like obsessed. But Charlie Hunnam is my number one. No one comes before him. Any more tattoos in the future? Absolutely. I have a whole list of tattoos that I want to get. And I think my sister and I are, I'm not sure if we're both going to do it, but he drew a cardinal because we kept seeing cardinals right before my grandmother's passing. And cardinals have like a really spiritual meaning to them. So he said he'll tattoo us this week. Most likely before we go to Puerto Rico for her funeral. But yes, I have an entire list of things that I want, like from all different, like different reasons. I want something for my grandmother. I want my parents' birth year. I want a stamp, like a postage stamp with a lemon on it. I genuinely have a list of things that I want to get. I just always have to wait till Tyler is available, and he never is. And here's the last question. Any YouTube advice you can give? Number one piece of advice is stop thinking about it so much and just do it. People that actually care about you do not care that you are on YouTube filming yourself. They don't care. I've been on YouTube for years, and I've never had someone make fun of me, criticize me, nothing, because I don't hang out with people like that, and I don't surround myself with people like that. Just do it. Film on your camera or on your iPhone if you have to. That's how I used to film. It doesn't matter. Get iMovie. It's free on your iMac or whatever computer you use. I'm not sure. Get iMovie. Film on your phone, transfer it, and learn how to start editing. As long as you start, you will learn the ropes and learn what you like and what works best for you as you go. Don't worry about perfecting everything. Don't worry about trying to make everything look like what somebody else does. Just do what you like to do. Film the content that you like to do. Use the music that you like to use. I need to do something with this hair. This is my natural hair with absolutely, there's nothing in it. No cream, no mousse, no oils. I gotta do something to it today. For today, or for right now, for this portion, I'm just gonna leave it just like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I haven't done one in such a long time, and I really like doing them because I get to just talk to you guys about whatever you want to actually know about, because you're the ones asking the questions. So I really like doing it. I will leave everything linked down below for you guys that I mentioned, and I'll see you guys in the next video.